This is Ashley's arm workout. Let's get it.
Let's do it, come on.
Fresh from a string of successes including 1,000 Blows and Netflix's critically acclaimed Adolescence, Ashley Walters joined us at Farm Fitness to show us how he really keeps in shape, physically and mentally, sharing the personal motivation he received to get himself in shape when watching back one of his scenes, as well as the moves behind those scene-stealing biceps. How did you first get into training?
So basically I was doing a TV show, right? It was called Bulletproof for Sky, and I rarely watch the monitor, like after I've done a take. But on one of them, we're doing a stunt. And I was like, I'm gonna go and watch the screen because I wanna see how it looks. And I went and watched the screen, and I just had this thing where I was like I looked at myself and I was like, oh my God. Like I didn't, you know what I mean? It was the first time I'd seen myself in that light, and like, I just dedicated myself after that to like losing weight. So that's how it kind of started. I found myself a PT near where I lived in my local gym. Just started working with him on losing weight, conditioning, and like dropping body fat. And then the love just kind of generated from there, do you know what I mean?
What did those workouts look like in the early days?
Oh man, it was gruesome, man. It was a lot of cardio, a lot of squatting, a lot of lunges, a lot of pull-ups, a lot of kind of ab workouts. It was grueling, man. It was stressful.
He put you through the ringer.
Yeah, it was a lot of arguments with that guy. There was a lot of arguments. At my lowest, I think I was 83 kg.
Yeah.
I don't think that's my natural weight to be.
That's not your fighting weight.
Yeah, at the moment I stand at, I'm probably like 89, 90, which is kind of probably where I feel a bit better. But yeah, I went down to 83 at that point because I was just obsessed, man. I was killing it, not eating or whatever. Now,
how did your energy levels feel at that time?
It was good, man. It was okay. I was a bit weak at times. You know what I mean? As you could imagine. But you know when you're doing something for something, it changes everything, doesn't it? It's like, you know, like even, you know, coming here today, the last 3 weeks for me have been hell because I've been pushing myself a bit harder in the gym, you know, eating a bit better or whatever because I know that I'm going to be here and whatever. But you know, the minute you can relax and there's kind of nothing to aim for, it kind of, I don't know, that's where things go a bit.
Do you get into like a cruise mode where you're like, you're still, you know, like I want to keep moving, I enjoy my training, I want to keep my eating moderate. You don't just sort of like blow out and turn it off when you're not training.
I try, what I'll try and do is like, I guess you call it a cheat day, but I'll have like probably one meal where I don't care a week. Like, do you know what I mean? But then sometimes it gets really difficult because in my game, a lot of meetings, a lot of events you go to involve eating. It's always over food. Do you know what I mean? Food and drink. I mean, I don't drink anymore, but the food thing, like I love food. Yeah. I love new restaurants. I love,
when people
you know
are
what I mean?
literally putting it on a plate for you.
Yeah. It's like, you know what I mean?
How was your training advance? So when was that? When was Bulletproof?
So I'd say this was when I proper got into it, maybe 219.
Yeah.
Maybe 219.
Yeah.
End of 219 or middle of 219.
Yeah.
Where I proper took it seriously. And what you were saying now about maintenance, probably now, like I was saying to you earlier, out breath, 5K a day.
Yeah, you run
without fail.
5K a day.
Run.
Yeah.
Like that's my box standard. I may not pick up weight.
Is that new to you, like a lot of running? Is that something you picked up?
Well, when I started training, that became my thing because that's kind of where, before I started with the PT, I had 2 months where I was just running, you know, and then lockdown came as well, and that kind of cemented it for me because that was my hour a day outside.
It was a big time for running, wasn't
it? Yeah, I was just jogging, like literally. I just run, not knowing where I was going, and you know, I lived in North London then. I'd end up in South London somewhere without even realizing it. Like, you know, you look around and you're like, oh shit. And then you're like, oh, yeah, and I've got to run back as well. Shit. Do you know what I mean? But it ended up, that's how it kind of picked up for me. So I really enjoy running. Running kind of gets my mind right. Yeah.
Is that important to you, the sort of the mental aspect of training too?
I think it's probably the most important thing to me. My life is really busy. and it's probably the only time I get to be by myself.
Yeah, you get that release.
Just like literally, like be by myself, think about stuff I want to do. Do you know what I mean? I do a lot of the work, a lot of the choices I make happen while I'm on the treadmill, if I'm honest, or in the gym.
Yeah. What about lifting? How's that evolved since you were on 1,200 calories a day and just trying to get through it?
Do you know what? I need to get more into lifting, you know, if I'm honest. Like, it's not a big part of my game.
Yeah, I mean, you look alright.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I think my muscle memory is like, it's quite superior. Why did you take the camera off me when I was doing it? Wow, come on. Bro, I did that for you, brother. That was the moment. No, you can't get it again. It's done.
Of all the insane and constructive discourse that's come out of adolescence, you know, from the political side to actually the how it was shot, by the incredible artistry of shooting that, somehow the third place biggest thing spoken about was definitely your arms. By far and away. It was like, actually, what? It's got pipes on it.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. It's like, they put me in that shirt. I knew it was a wrong move. That shirt I wore in the school, I was like, eh. But yeah, I work a lot on my arms, man.
Yeah.
And I've naturally always just had good arms.
Yeah.
It's like legs. I hardly work legs, and if you can see my legs, my thighs are huge.
Just blessed.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm just literally just blessed. Like, so I try not to work my legs too much, otherwise they're like that, and I can't wear the clothes I want to wear, or do you know what I mean? We're gonna do 7.
It's a bicep 21s.
Bicep 21s,
It's
right?
a classic.
Yeah, it's a
Always
classic.
classic.
And listen, I may not know the names for everything, but I know what I'm doing.
Well, you got the resume.
Yeah. You can tell that I know what I'm doing now, Jay.
Talk us through.
So basically, all right, cool. Let me just start, so then you can see. So we're doing 7 from this position to the middle, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we want to go from the top down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we want to do 7 full. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. May look easy, but fucking brutal, man.
What does a normal week of training look like for you at the moment?
Most of my sessions are mixed, and most of my sessions will depend on how I feel or how tired I am, what I feel like doing. I need to be pushed.
Yeah.
I need to, if my PT comes in, then it gets proper regulated and whatever. If it's just me, it's like, I wake up in the morning, sometimes I'm like, I feel like training, I'll go straight in, do you know what I mean? And I'll just mix it up. Like what I've been doing a lot recently is like, sort of like ladder training. So I'll jump on the treadmill, 500 meters, jump off, do 60 press ups, jump on the rowing machine, do 500 meters, jump off, do 60 sit-ups, then jump off and go on the skier, 500 meters, then go round and do 400s.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then drop down on the
Like 400,
on the presser.
300s.
Yeah. And just keep on going down.
Yeah.
Like that sort of stuff for me, like makes me feel good, makes me know I've done something.
Just getting
You know
the
what I mean?
conditioning in,
Yeah.
getting some body weight
Yeah,
stuff in.
yeah.
Yeah. We were talking earlier, you were saying you've done, what you're interested in, you've done some like combat type training, boxing, that sort of thing. How interesting is that to you?
Oh, I love it. I love it, man. I mean, probably just recently, well, I have just recently started with kind of a PT that I've been working with. This guy kind of popped up, his name's Cameron Else, who fights UFC. But because of work and stuff, I'm like traveling so much throughout the year, it's hard to get consistent. But when I do get time to train with him, we do a bit of boxing, do a bit of holding, grappling, stuff like that. I don't know whether I'd love it in a real fight setting. I don't like being punched in my face.
So no charity boxing matches on the
Yeah, I
horizon,
don't know, nothing like that coming up too soon.
So Jake Paul calls
I've got to put down
now.
no, I can forget it. Unless the bag is big, I mean, it depends what the purse is.
How much to get punched in the face?
Don't try it. Trying to stitch me up.
We've got some social budgets.
Woo! Oh my gosh.
How do you keep your training up? How do you keep your fitness up when you are on the road, when you are shooting every day? Because adolescence is obviously a demanding schedule, right?
It's tough, man, but you got to set yourself goals and targets.
Yeah.
You know, simple things like putting it in your diary on your phone, do you know what I mean? Like taking it seriously in that sense. Making sure that, you know, I'm signed up to like probably every gym membership you could imagine, just so wherever I am, I can use a gym. I've got no excuse. And then I keep in regular contact with like my old PT, my new PT. You know, they're very kind of wake you up at 7 in the morning. Like, did you train? Because I'm training.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if you're like,
accountability.
fucking hell, yeah, all right, cool. What I have done in my gym at home is when I started training with my PT the first time, what he did was, after our first 6 months, he booked a fitness photo shoot, right, with a really top photographer. And so we were working towards that. And I took some amazing pictures. And I put them all around my gym, like in these big frames or whatever. A lot of people come there and they're like, bro, you love yourself, fam. But for me, it's more about like seeing what I could achieve.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I'm ever gonna look like that again, but I don't ever want to go back to how I looked when I didn't like how I looked. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that picture in my mind is the foundation of what pushes me. It's more of like a half chin up.
And you picked this, you've been doing this a while?
Yeah, well, my PT got me doing this. I used to hate him in the beginning. I mean, to be fair, probably my best has been about probably 10 clean ones. But in the beginning, he started me off at 5. That used to kill me. Yeah. But I guess as you lose a bit more weight,
it's easier to hold
yourself up, innit? So anyway, I'll just show you. So it's like this.
Okay, so we're hitting the abs, but obviously because this is an actually waters workout, we're still hitting the biceps.
Yeah.
We can get them into everything. Feeling that?
Killer on the hands. Yeah. Going up, half pull. Yeah, keep your body L shape, and then keep bringing those legs up. It's tough. How's that feeling?
Tough.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
How often would you incorporate these in?
This was like every session.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like in the beginning I used to I'm telling you, I hated them. I used to argue with the guy and he'd be like 8 and I'd be like, but last week it was 5, so why is it 8 now? And he's like, Ashley, just shut up, just do it. But now it's like, it feels wrong not doing it. Yeah. And it's working so many different things. Yeah. Core, arms, you know what I'm saying?
Good grip.
Abs, yeah, grip.
Yeah.
That's another thing actually. The death grip.
Yeah.
You do a lot of that?
Talk me through it, what is it?
Well, it's just like, just the hanging.
Like a dead hang?
Yeah.
You get a thing called spinal traction in this, so as you're hanging, your spine gets a chance to decompress. So if you think heavy lifting, sitting down a lot, the minute you get into this hang, it all comes off. And just having that spinal traction, especially if you're on your feet a lot all day, just to get that chance to decompress everything. And building your grip strength, there's really no downside to having stronger grip. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
3, 2, 1, let's go. Nice hang. Easy 20 seconds. How you feeling? 33 seconds. And it's hot today, that bar's hot.
Nice, the hands, man. Right gloves. Woo. I hate him. I love it. And he drops. Oh, here we go. So basically, this is it's like a sit-up. Just really focusing on your core and your abs, but you're just getting your wrist over your knees.
Okay, so basically like a crunch, but you've got that accountability of making sure your hands get right.
Yeah. So it's just that. So I'll do maybe 30 of these.
Yeah.
That'll get you right.
Is this something you'd throw in a hotel room?
Yep.
Between takes? Yeah.
Anywhere.
Easy.
Oi. Go for it. It's hard, isn't it? There you go. Well done. That was it.
Obviously, we've just had Adolescence. It was a big moment, a big cultural moment, right? Like,
yeah.
Been spoken about for so many reasons, and I think something that I was thinking about off the back of it is that there's this conversation that's been going on in some circles in the last few years about the sort of intersection between masculinity and working out, and like what is positive masculinity and how does that play into things like physicality and working out. And obviously, like we joked about earlier, people were talking about the fact that in adolescence you look like a big capable guy. What part do you think working out, training, that sort of culture has in influencing young men? And do you think it's ultimately positive, or do you think there's downsides to it as well?
I can only kind of talk from the way that I see it, because for me I've never been a fighting aggressive sort of person. I started training because it helped my mind. It helped me settle myself. It helped me find a place of peace.
Yeah.
And it taught me discipline and good positive habits. And I think that's where it kind of works well for most kind of young men. Do you know what I mean? But that means, I'm not kind of disregarding the side of course, like the aggressive nature of it and
masculinity.
Yeah, there is that part of it. I mean, it's part of the reason why sometimes I don't really enjoy the gym space, because you feel like there's a lot of people judging you and this and that or whatever, and I kind of go there for a completely different reason. But I think most people, once they find their kind of space in that setting, they realize that for your mental health, it's one of the best things that you can do. And that's why I'll push all my 8-year-old comes to the gym with me sometimes in the morning, and he'll train, and he may only be in there for 10-15 minutes. I enjoy seeing him find that peace and that space, you know what I mean?
Should we wrap up? Cheers, bro.
Blessings, brother.